The first thing I noticed was the silence. Not the kind of silence you get in the woods or late at night. This was different. It was heavy, like the air itself was holding its breath. I stepped out of my car, the gravel crunching under my boots, and looked around. The town was empty. Not just quiet, empty. No people, no cars, no signs of life. Just rows of old crumbling buildings and a single streetlight flickering in the distance. I shouldn't have stopped, but I was lost and the gas gauge was hovering just above empty. This place wasn't on any map. I didn't even know its name, but something about it felt wrong.
Hello? Anyone here?
My voice echoed down the street, bouncing off the cracked walls of the buildings. No answer. Just that same oppressive silence. I walked toward the flickering streetlight, my footsteps loud in the stillness. The air smelled faintly of rust and something else. Something sweet and rotten. I tried to shake the feeling creeping up my spine, but it clung to me like a second skin.
Is anyone around? I just need directions.
Still nothing. I reached the streetlight and stopped. Beneath it was a bench, its paint peeling and wood splintered. On the bench was a single dusty book. I picked it up, brushing off the cover. It was a journal, the pages yellowed and brittle. I flipped it open, and a name caught my eye. It was mine, my full name written in shaky handwriting. My stomach dropped.
What the hell?
I flipped through the pages, my hands trembling. The entries were all dated from today. Every single one. And they were written in my handwriting. I didn't remember writing any of this. The first entry read, "I shouldn't have come here. I can feel them watching me." The second, "They're in the shadows. I can hear them whispering." The third, "They're coming. I don't have much time."
This isn't possible.
I slammed the journal shut and looked around. The street was still empty, but the shadows seemed darker now, thicker. I could feel it, the weight of eyes on me. I shoved the journal into my bag and started walking back to my car. That's when I heard it, a faint whisper, so soft I almost thought I imagined it.
"Don't leave."
I froze. The voice was close, too close. I turned slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. Standing a few feet away was a woman. She was pale, her hair long and tangled, her dress tattered and stained. Her eyes were empty, like two black holes.
Who are you?
"You shouldn't have come here."
Her voice was hollow, like it was coming from somewhere far away. I took a step back, my hand gripping the strap of my bag.
I just need directions. I'm lost.
"You're not lost. You're exactly where they want you."
She tilted her head, her neck cracking like dry wood. I took another step back, my breath coming in short panic bursts.
Who wants me here?
"The ones who live in the dark, the ones who wait."
She took a step toward me, her movements jerky and unnatural. I stumbled back, nearly tripping over the uneven pavement.
Stay back.
"You can't leave. Not now. Not ever."
I turned and ran, my feet slamming against the ground. The street seemed to stretch on forever, the buildings blurring together in my peripheral vision. I could hear her behind me, her footsteps echoing in the silence. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I reached my car and fumbled with the door handle, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip it. Finally, I yanked it open and threw myself inside, slamming the door shut. I jammed the key into the ignition and turned it. The engine sputtered, but didn't start.
Come on, come on.
I tried again, and this time the engine roared to life. I slammed the car into gear and peeled out, the tires kicking up gravel. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I didn't want to see if she was still there. The town disappeared behind me, swallowed by the darkness. I drove for what felt like hours, my hands gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. Finally, I saw a sign for the highway. Relief flooded through me. I was going to make it. I was going to get out of here. That's when I noticed the journal in the passenger seat. I hadn't put it there. I reached for it, my hand trembling, and opened it to the last page. There, in my handwriting, was a new entry. You can't escape. They're already inside. I dropped the journal like it was on fire and looked up. In the rear-view mirror, I saw her. She was in the back seat, her hollow eyes staring straight into mine.
You're home now.
I screamed, the sound tearing through the silence. The car swerved and I lost control. The last thing I saw was the headlights illuminating the sign at the edge of town. It read, "Welcome to nowhere." Then everything went black. When I woke up, I was back in the town. The car was gone. The journal was gone. But she was still there, standing in the middle of the street, her head tilted at that unnatural angle. And this time, she wasn't alone. The shadows around her were moving, shifting, taking shape. I could hear them whispering, their voices overlapping, growing louder and louder until they drowned out everything else.
You're one of us now.
I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The shadows closed in, their cold fingers wrapping around me, pulling me into the darkness. And as I disappeared, I realized the truth. This wasn't a ghost town. It was a trap. And I was never getting out. The journal was right. They're already inside, and they're waiting for you too.